If we ever meet again, I will kill you. That's the vow Yunwoo Han made 10 years ago, kneeling in the ashes of his childhood home. The vow that's kept him alive through grief so deep it carved holes in his chest. The vow he's about to break in the most impossible way. But first, let me show you what made him swear it. The white picture frame trembles in his hands tonight. Inside, a half-finished painting, his parents' house, consumed by flames so vivid you can almost feel the heat bleeding off the canvas. He painted this from memory, from trauma, from the night everything ended. He was 19 then, 29 now, a decade of trying to paint over the past, and still it bleeds through every brush stroke. Outside his cabin, snow begins to fall. Inside, the memory burns brighter than any winter fire ever could. He sees it again. The house engulfed, his mother's scream cutting through the roar of flames. His father's desperate shout, "Run, Yunwoo, run!" Before the ceiling collapsed. He'd hidden in the storm cellar his father built, pressed against the wooden door, watching through a crack in the floorboards as his world incinerated. And through the orange glow, a silhouette, slender, precise, a woman who moved like shadow, given deadly purpose. She spoke into a radio, cold, emotionless. Target eliminated, no witnesses. But there was one witness, him. He watched her walk away, unhurried, her posture calm, a professional completing a job. His family's murder was just another Tuesday for her. The police called it gang-related arson, unsolved, cold case within 6 months. But Yunwoo never forgot that silhouette, never forgot the angle of her shoulders, the length of her stride, the way she moved like violence made elegant. He spent 10 years searching, painting, remembering, promising himself that if fate ever gave him a second chance, he wouldn't hide again. He'd be brave, he'd get justice. If we ever meet again, he whispers to the painting, I will kill you. The snow outside falls heavier. He doesn't know yet that she's already close. That fate is about to deliver his enemy directly into his hands, broken, bleeding, and remembering nothing at all. He doesn't know that the vow he made 10 years ago is about to shatter against something he never expected. Something that looks terrifyingly like mercy. The mountain road is empty tonight. Just Yunwoo's sedan, coughing through the cold. Headlights cutting pale arcs through falling snow. He's returning from the city where he sold 2 small paintings. Barely enough for groceries, but survival comes in small victories now. His mind wanders as he drives, always backwards, always to that night. Then he sees her, a dark shape against white ground, motionless, a body. He slows, stops, doesn't exit immediately because he's learned caution. The world has taught him that kindness can be a trap, but something pulls him forward, the stillness, the way snow has begun, covering her like a burial shroud. He steps into the cold, approaches carefully, blood, dark and vivid against the white. It trails from her temple down to her jaw, staining the snow beneath her head. Her hands are covered in it too. Whether hers or someone else's, he can't tell. Her coat is torn, breathing shallow and labored. Then he sees her face. His heart stops. Every cell in his body recognizes her, the woman from the fire, the silhouette who became his nightmare. Older now, but unmistakable. Those cheekbones, that mouth, the small scar above her left eyebrow, he memorized through smoke and tears. His hand moves instinctively toward the knife he always carries, just in case, always just in case. This is it, the moment he's imagined for 10 years. She's helpless, vulnerable. He could finish her right here, leave her for the cold to claim. Justice delivered by winter. But then her eyes open, dark brown, utterly confused, terrified. She stares at him like she's seeing the world for the first time, like she doesn't understand snow or darkness or her own existence. Help! The word escapes her lips like broken glass. Please, I don't. She tries to sit up, collapses back. Her hand reaches toward him, not threatening, not calculating, just desperate. Who am I? Yunwoo freezes. This isn't the voice of an assassin. This is someone lost, someone shattered. I don't remember anything. She's shaking, not from cold, from pure animal fear of the void inside her own mind. He should leave, should let the snow finish what someone else started. The universe is handing him justice on a silver platter. But those terrified eyes, that trembling voice, the way she looks at him like he's the only solid thing in a dissolving world. What if she doesn't remember? What if the woman who destroyed his life doesn't even know she did it? He makes a choice he'll question every day after. He lifts her. She's lighter than expected. Her head falls against his shoulder. She whispers something that might be thank you, or might be nothing at all. He carries her to the car, lays her across the back seat, covers her with his coat. As he drives toward his cabin, his hands shake on the wheel. He's just saved the woman he swore to kill. If this tension is already pulling you in, if you need to know what happens when justice meets an impossible mercy, hit that subscribe button now, because this story is about to test every belief you have about right, wrong, and what we owe to people who've forgotten their own sins. The cabin sits deep in forest where cell service dies, and solitude is the only neighbor. Yunwoo built this isolation deliberately after the fire. Out here, he could grieve without witnesses. Out here, he could pretend peace was possible. Now he's carrying an unconscious killer through his front door, and peace feels like a distant memory. He lays her on the couch, the one his mother helped him choose years ago, back when he imagined filling this place with life instead of ghosts. He retrieves his first aid kit, cleans the head wound. It's deep but not catastrophic. No skull fracture he can detect, just trauma and blood loss. As he works, he studies her face, tries to reconcile this vulnerable woman with the shadow who haunted his nightmares. She murmurs occasionally, fragments of words without context, names he doesn't recognize. Her face is striking in a way that unsettles him, the kind of face that could smile or kill with equal ease. He should call someone, but who? The police who closed his family's case in 6 months? And say what? That he found his parents' murderer and brought her home? So he waits. Dawn breaks gray and cold. Finally, she stirs. Her eyes open slowly, unfocused. She looks around the cabin like walls are a foreign concept. Then her gaze lands on him. Where? You're safe. The words feel strange on his tongue. You were injured, on the mountain road. She sits up slowly, touches the bandage on her head, winces. You don't remember. She shakes her head, and panic floods her face. Real, raw panic. I don't remember anything. Not my name, not where I came from, not. Her breathing quickens. Why can't I remember? Yunwoo leans forward carefully. Head trauma sometimes causes temporary amnesia. It might return. Might. Her hands tremble. What if it doesn't? What if I'm just empty forever? One step at a time, he says, keeping his voice steady despite his racing pulse. Right now you need rest, food, recovery. She looks at him with desperate gratitude. You saved me. He doesn't respond, just stands. There's a bedroom upstairs, you should sleep. She follows him like a lost child. No trace of the predator he knows she was. He shows her the small room with a window overlooking the forest. She sits on the bed and stares at her own hands like they belong to a stranger. Thank you, she whispers. I don't know why you're helping me, but thank you. Yunwoo nods and leaves before she can see the war in his eyes. Over the next days, a strange routine develops. He keeps his distance, brings her food 3 times a day. Simple meals he prepares in silence. Checks her wound every morning and evening, his fingers clinical and careful. Answers her questions with half-truths that taste like ash in his mouth. She recovers quickly, too quickly. Her body knows things her mind has forgotten. When a glass slips from the counter, she catches it midair with reflexes that shouldn't exist in a normal person. The movement is so fast it's almost invisible. She stares at her own hand afterward, turning it over like it belongs to a stranger. How did I do that? Muscle memory, he offers, his voice carefully neutral. Your body remembers things your mind doesn't. She accepts this explanation, accepts everything with the desperate trust of someone who has no other choice, no other anchor in the world. He notices other things too. The way she moves without sound, how she always positions herself with her back to walls, facing doors, how her eyes track movement with predatory precision before she catches herself and softens her gaze. These are not the habits of an innocent person. They're the survival instincts of someone trained for violence. It makes him wonder, if she remembered who she was, would she kill him? Would the programming override whatever fragile humanity she's building here? He doesn't know. And that uncertainty is its own kind of torture. One evening, he finds her attempting to cook. The kitchen is chaos, flour everywhere, vegetables cut at odd angles, but she's trying. She looks up when he enters, something almost hopeful in her expression. I thought I could help, since you've been so kind. Kind. The word sits like poison in his chest. He teaches her proper knife technique, how to chop without risking fingers. She learns fast, too fast. Have you always lived alone? She asks one evening while they're washing dishes together. It's become part of their routine, her washing, him drying, a domestic rhythm that feels both comfortable and wrong. Yes, the lie burns his throat, because the truth, that his family was slaughtered in front of him, that his mother taught him to cook in a kitchen that no longer exists, that his father built this cabin as a family retreat before fire turned it into a tomb, would lead to questions that might trigger her memory. And he doesn't know yet if he wants her to remember or if he hopes the amnesia lasts forever. Both options feel like betrayals. Of his parents, of justice, of this strange, impossible thing growing between them. She studies him for a long moment, her dark eyes searching his face. You're lying. His heart stops. What? You get this look when you're not telling me everything. Your jaw tightens. Your eyes go somewhere else. She rinses a plate slowly, not looking at him now. I'm not asking you to tell me. Everyone deserves their secrets. I want you to know that I see it. The pain you're carrying. The plate slips from his hand, shatters on the floor. They both freeze, then move at the same time to clean it up. Their hands brush as they reach for the same shard. Both pull back. The air between them suddenly charged with something neither can name. "I'm sorry," she whispers. "I shouldn't have said anything." "No." His voice is rough. "You're right. I am carrying something, but it's not your burden." "Everything feels like my burden," she says softly, "because I don't know what I'm carrying, what I've done, who I've hurt." She looks at him then, really looks at him. "Sometimes I'm afraid to remember, because what if I'm worse than I imagine? What if the darkness in my dreams is just a shadow of the real thing he wants to tell her, wants to scream the truth, wants to watch her face crumble under the weight of her own sins. But he also wants to protect this moment, this fragile honesty, this woman who's afraid of her own shadow and makes terrible coffee and is trying so hard to be good." So he says nothing, just helps her clean up the broken plate and pretends his hands aren't shaking. At night, she has nightmares. He hears her crying out from the next room, gasping awake in terror. The first few nights, he stays in his own bed, fists clenched, listening to her fear, telling himself it's what she deserves, that these nightmares are karma catching up. But on the fourth night, when her screams turn desperate, raw and broken, and so utterly human, he can't stay away anymore. He goes to her room, finds her sitting up in bed, eyes wide but unseeing, trembling so hard the whole bed shakes. She's trapped between sleep and waking, caught in whatever horror her subconscious is showing her. "Hey." He touches her shoulder gently. "You're safe. It's just a dream." She gasps, grabs his hand. Her grip is desperately strong, the strength of someone drowning. "The dream," she whispers, her voice shattered. "There's always fire and screaming, and I'm doing something terrible, but I can't see what. Just the feeling of it, the weight of it." Yunwoo's blood runs ice cold. She's remembering. Not clearly, but remembering. The fire, his parents, her role in it. "It's just a dream," he repeats, though it's not. It's memory disguised as nightmare. Is it? She looks at him desperately, tears streaming down her face. What if I was a bad person before? What if I hurt people? What if I'm dangerous and you're in danger just by being near me? The questions hit like physical blows. Because yes to all of it. She is dangerous. She did hurt people. He is in danger. But instead of saying any of that, he finds himself sitting on the edge of her bed. Everyone has darkness in them. Everyone has things they regret. It doesn't define you. How can you be so sure? Her voice is small, childlike. "You don't even know me." "I know enough." The lie tastes bitter. "I know you're trying. I know you're afraid. I know you cry over sad movies and laugh at stupid jokes and apologize to furniture when you bump into it. That's real. That's you." She reaches out, unconscious, instinctive, and takes his hand. Her grip is desperate but no longer painful. Just seeking something solid in the chaos. "Don't leave me," she whispers. "Please, you're the only real thing I have. The only person who's shown me kindness. If you leave, I'll disappear into the darkness completely." His chest tightens. This woman, this killer, looking at him like he's her salvation instead of her executioner. He should pull away, should let her fall. should remind himself why she's here, what she's done, who she really is. Instead, he hears himself say, "I won't leave, not tonight." He stays, sits in the chair by her bed while she falls back asleep, watches her face smooth out, the terror fading into something that looks almost like peace. And he wonders, not for the first time, not for the last, which one of them is the real prisoner here. Meanwhile, in the city, the Crimson Lotus organization is hunting. Madame Yura sits behind polished black wood, fingers steepled, expression carved from ice. She's in her 40s but looks ageless, the dangerous kind of ageless that comes from ruthlessness and expensive procedures. "Explain again," she says to Jihai, the young assassin standing rigid before her, how Lena disappeared. Jihai shifts uncomfortably. At 25, she's still learning that mistakes here don't come with second chances. The mission went wrong. Target had unexpected backup. Lena was injured. During extraction, she fell from the bridge into the river. We searched downstream. No body. No body means no confirmation. Yura's voice is silk over steel. And no confirmation means a loose end. "She likely died, madam. The fall was." Likely isn't certainty. Yura stands with predatory grace. Lena knows too much. Client lists, safe houses, every operation detail. If she's alive and compromised, she's a loaded gun aimed at all of us. But if she's dead, then we find proof and move on. Yura walks to the window, overlooking the glittering city. Send Minjae and his team, trace her last location, check hospitals, morgues, shelters. If she's alive, bring her back. If she's hiding, she doesn't finish. She doesn't need to. Jihai bows. "Understood, madam." As the door closes, Yura speaks again, softer, almost to herself. "I raised that girl from nothing, made her perfect. If she's become a liability, I'll be the one to end it." The city glitters below, and somewhere in the mountains, Lena sleeps peacefully, unaware that her past is closing in like a noose. 3 weeks pass, then 4. Snow begins to thin, revealing dark earth and the promise of green. Early spring creeps in with timid shoots and birdsong that sounds almost like hope. And the woman Yunwoo calls Lena, though she doesn't know yet that it's her real name, begins to feel almost real. She learns to cook without burning everything, helps him clean without being asked, tends the small garden behind the cabin where he grows herbs and vegetables, her hands gentle in the soil, like she's afraid of crushing something precious. She's careful with everything, every movement measured, like she's afraid the world might break if she touches it too hard. Or maybe like she's afraid she might break it herself. One afternoon, she finds him painting in his converted shed studio. The space smells like turpentine and linseed oil and creativity. Light pours through the skylight he installed himself, illuminating dust motes that dance like tiny stars. She stands in the doorway watching, fascinated by the way his brush moves across canvas. Confident strokes building something from nothing. He's painting the forest in early spring, all possibility and tender growth. "Can I try?" she asks quietly, as if afraid to interrupt the sacred space of creation. He hesitates. This studio is his sanctuary, the one place he can be alone with his grief. But something in her expression, that careful hope, makes him nod. He sets up a second easel beside his own, gives her brushes and basic colors, shows her how to hold the brush, how to mix paint, how to let intuition guide her hand instead of overthinking every stroke. She stares at the blank canvas for a long time. Her hand hovers over the palette, uncertain. Then slowly, almost unconsciously, she begins. What emerges surprises them both. Abstract shapes at first, dark colors bleeding into light, chaos that slowly and painfully resolves into something almost peaceful. It's raw and untrained, but deeply felt, like watching someone's soul spill onto canvas. There's violence in the brushstrokes, aggressive swipes of black and crimson, but also softness, pale blues and gentle whites that seem to be fighting the darkness, trying to overcome it. I don't know why I painted this, she says, stepping back to study her own work. Her hands are covered in paint, a rainbow of colors that somehow looks like blood in certain light. But it feels true, like this is what's inside me, war, darkness fighting light. Yunwoo stares at the painting and sees more than she realizes. He sees a soul wrestling with itself. He sees her trying to make sense of impulses she doesn't understand. Violence and gentleness, destruction and creation, all tangled together in impossible ways. And despite everything, despite who she is and what she's done, he feels something shift in his chest. Respect. Real, genuine respect. Not for the killer she was, but for the person she's fighting to become. This is the first step, the first crack in his armor. Over dinners, they talk. She asks about his life, carefully sensing some topics hurt. He tells her about painting, about solitude, about finding peace in nature. He doesn't mention the fire, doesn't mention his family, doesn't explain why a young man lives alone in a forest like a hermit, hiding from the world. She talks about the strange wrongness she carries. Emma, sometimes I look in the mirror and feel like I'm wearing someone else's face, like the real me is buried under something heavy. She touches her own reflection in a window, fingertips against glass. I wonder if I'll ever feel whole, or if this emptiness is just who I am now. Maybe you're becoming someone new, he offers. Can people do that? Just become new? I hope so. He's not sure if he's talking about her or himself, because otherwise we're all just prisoners of our worst moments, and that's too sad to accept. She smiles, soft and genuine, and he realizes with a jolt that he's becoming attached, that somewhere between resenting her existence and monitoring her recovery, he started caring about whether she's happy, whether she feels safe, whether she finds peace. This terrifies him more than hatred ever did. One evening, she helps him prepare a traditional meal, spicy stew with fermented vegetables, the kind his mother used to make on cold nights. He's been craving something from home, from his mother's kitchen that no longer exists except in memory. She chops vegetables while he explains techniques his mother taught him. Their hands brush as they work, accidental touches that linger half a second too long. Neither pulls away. The kitchen fills with steam and spice, warmth that has nothing to do with the stove. Tell me about your culture, she says while they cook side by side. The food feels warm, even the spicy dishes, like they're meant to bring people together. He talks about connection through food, about how his mother used to say cooking for someone was another way to say I love you without using words, about bonds that form slowly through small repeated kindnesses, sharing meals, helping with chores, being present through ordinary moments. We have this concept, he says, stirring the pot carefully. Hard to translate directly, but it's about the affection and bond that builds between people, through shared experience, through taking care of each other. It's deeper than friendship, but harder to define. It just exists. grows without you noticing until one day you realize this person has become essential. Lena listens intently, her eyes never leaving his face. I wish I knew if anyone ever loved me like that, if anyone ever thought I was essential. The vulnerability in her voice cuts through every defense he's built. I think someone did, he says quietly. Somewhere, before. It's a kind lie, because he knows her story now. Orphaned at 8, raised by the organization, turned into a weapon before she learned how to be human. And even if they didn't, even if your past is empty, that doesn't mean your future has to be. She turns to him fully then. Studies his face like she's trying to memorize every line, every shadow. You're too kind to me. I don't deserve it. Maybe none of us deserve kindness, he says. Maybe we just give it anyway, because the alternative, a world without mercy, is too terrible to accept. Later, after they eat, she asks to stay close while he works. The dreams come back when I'm alone. So she curls in an armchair while he paints, watches, falls asleep there, peaceful and trusting. Yunwoo looks at her sleeping form and feels his walls crumbling. She's not the monster from his nightmares. Or if she is, she's also something else. Something that makes him question whether people can transcend their worst moments. This is something growing between them. She's cared for him through her presence. He's cared for her through his actions. It's reciprocal now, equal. But cracks run both ways. Lena's episodes intensify. Memory fragments come like lightning, quick, blinding, gone before she can grasp them. A tattoo on someone's wrist, the smell of gun oil, the sound of a silenced pistol, her own voice cold and empty. Target eliminated. Each time she gasps awake or freezes mid-task, terrified by images she can't explain. One day while changing clothes, she notices something in the mirror. A mark on her left shoulder blade. Dark ink. A flower wrapped around a blade. She traces it with shaking fingers. Doesn't know what it means. But dread fills her so completely, she can barely breathe. She hides it, wears long sleeves, avoids mirrors, and tries to ignore the growing certainty that whatever she was before, it wasn't good. Spring deepens, the forest explodes with color, wild azaleas blooming pink and white, ferns unfurling their delicate fronds, everything alive and reaching toward sunlight. Cherry blossoms fall like softer snow, sweeter, carpeting the ground in pale petals that bruise under their feet. Lena and Yunwoo take walks together now, not speaking much, just being. The silence between them is comfortable in a way that feels dangerous, like they're building something without meaning to, something that can't be unnamed once they acknowledge it. She picks wildflowers and tucks them behind her ear. He sketches in a small notebook, trying to capture the way light filters through new leaves. They exist in these small moments like the rest of the world doesn't exist. One evening, as golden sunset filters through the trees and paints everything in shades of amber and rose, she stops walking, turns to him. Her expression is open in a way he's never seen. No guard, no fear, just raw honesty. "Can I ask you something?" Her voice is barely audible over the evening birdsong. "Of course. Has anyone ever loved me?" The question comes out small, fragile, like if he answers wrong, it might break her. "In my life before I lost everything, do you think someone cared about me? Or was I always alone?" Yunwoo's breath catches. The question is so raw, so desperate, It bypasses all his defenses. All his carefully maintained distance collapses in an instant. "I don't know your past," he says honestly, his voice rougher than intended. "But yes, someone must have, because you're easy to care about." "Am I?" She looks at him with those dark, searching eyes. "Or am I just a blank slate you're projecting goodness onto? A empty vessel you can fill with whatever you want to see?" "That's not what you are." "Then what am I?" She steps closer, close enough that he can see the gold flecks in her irises, the way the sunset makes her skin glow. "Because I don't know. I look in the mirror and see a stranger. I touch things and wonder if these hands have done terrible things. I wake up from nightmares feeling like a monster. So tell me, what do you see when you look at me?" He should step back, should maintain distance, should remember the fire and the screaming and his mother's face in those final moments. Instead, he reaches out, cups her cheek gently. His thumb brushes across her cheekbone, and she closes her eyes at the touch, like it's the first tender thing she's ever known. "I see someone trying," he says softly. "Someone learning to be kind, even though it doesn't come naturally. Someone who holds my hand when you're scared, and makes terrible coffee, and laughs at my bad jokes, and apologizes to plants when you accidentally step on them. That's real. That's you. Not some blank slate. You." Her eyes fill with tears that catch the sunset light. "I want to believe my heart isn't just filled with darkness, that there's something good inside me, something worth saving." "There is." He means it. Despite everything, despite the truth burning in his chest. "I see you, Lena, and what I see is someone worth knowing." It's the first time he's truly seen her as separate from the nightmare. As a person, not a symbol of his pain. And the shift is terrifying, liberating, devastating. She leans into his touch, her whole body swaying toward him like a flower toward sun. "I don't know what I was before, but I know what I want to be now. Someone worthy of this, of you, of the way you look at me." "You already are," he whispers. And in this moment, bathed in golden light with cherry blossoms falling around them like blessing, he believes it. He should step back, should remember the fire, should hold onto hatred like armor. Instead, he leans in. Their lips meet, soft, tentative, filled with 10,000 unspoken truths. She tastes like spring and hope and something that might be redemption. The kiss deepens, not with passion but with need. The need to be seen, to be forgiven, to be human despite everything. When they pull apart, both are breathing hard, both terrified. Both knowing this changes everything. "Whatever happens," she whispers, "thank you for giving me a chance to be someone different." He nods, unable to speak, because he knows, has always known, that this moment is borrowed time. That truth waiting in shadows will destroy them both. This is vulnerability. They've opened themselves completely. And once that door opens, there's no closing it. The kiss changes everything. Opens something that can't be closed. They're tender with each other now. He takes her hand during walks. She leans against him while they watch stars. It's gentle and profound and utterly doomed. But memories won't stay quiet. They come faster, stronger, no longer fragments but full scenes. Lena wakes one night from a nightmare so vivid she can taste blood. She's standing in a warehouse. A man kneels before her. She's holding a gun to his head. Her finger tightens. His eyes widen, pleading, terrified, and then she gasps awake. stumbles to the bathroom, vomits. When she looks in the mirror, she doesn't recognize herself. Or worse, she recognizes exactly who she is. A killer. Next morning, she's withdrawn. Yunwoo notices but doesn't push. He's learned she'll talk when ready, but she doesn't talk. She watches him instead, studies him like she's memorizing every detail before it's too late. That afternoon, while he's gathering firewood, something drives her to search. To understand. She finds things. A box of old photographs. Yunwoo younger and smiling, between two people who must be his parents. Newspaper clippings about unsolved arson. A case gone cold. Then she finds the painting, hidden under cloth in his studio. Larger than the others, more detailed, more painful. A house engulfed in flames. And in the foreground, barely visible, a shadow, female, walking away. Lena's hands shake as she holds the canvas. Her heart pounds so hard it hurts. She knows this scene, not from the painting, from memory. She was there. She started the fire. She killed those people. She killed Yunwoo's family. The realization doesn't shock her. It confirms what she's been sensing all along. All the darkness, all the dread, it had a shape, a name, monster. The canvas slips from her hands. She doesn't hear it hit the floor. Doesn't hear the door open behind her. Lena? Yunwoo's voice, soft, concerned, then sharp with understanding as he sees what she's holding, what she's discovered. Their eyes meet across the studio. She understands. He understands that she understands. The silence that follows is heavier than any scream. How long have you known? Her voice barely exists. Since the beginning. His face is pale, hands clenched. I recognized you, the night I found you. Then why, her voice breaks, why didn't you just let me die? I don't know. He sounds as lost as she looks. I wanted to. I swore I would. But you were different. You didn't remember. And I thought maybe what? That I could erase what I did? Tears stream down her face. I killed them, your parents. I murdered them and walked away, and probably didn't feel anything at all. You don't remember doing it. But I did it, she's shouting now, desperate. The person I was, she's still me. The blood is still on my hands, even if I can't see it. Yunwoo steps toward her. She backs away. Don't. Her voice is ragged. Don't come near me. I don't deserve your touch, your kindness, any of this. Lena. That's not even my real name, is it? You just gave it to me. An identity because the real one is too monstrous to speak. He stops. It is your real name, Lena Cade. You were an assassin for an organization called Crimson Lotus. You killed dozens, maybe more. And yes, you killed my family 10 years ago during a contracted hit. Each word lands like a blade. She crumples, falls to her knees. Then why am I still alive? Because, his voice cracks, the person in front of me isn't the one who pulled that trigger. You've spent weeks being gentle and afraid of your own shadow. You made me remember what it feels like to not be alone. He kneels in front of her. I hate what you did. But you're not just that. That's not enough. That's not justice. I know. His voice is soft, broken. But it's all we have. I need to leave, she says finally, pulling away. Before they find me, before I bring more death to your door. Lena, no. She stands, backing toward the door. You've given me more than I deserved, but I won't let them hurt you because of me. I won't let you become collateral damage. Where will you go? She doesn't answer, just looks at him one last time, memorizing his face, his kindness, everything she's about to lose. Then she runs. She runs into the forest. No direction, no plan, just away. The woods are dark and cold. Spring warmth hasn't reached the deep places yet. She walks until her feet bleed, until she's lost. Until she reaches a frozen lake, moonlight turning ice to silver. She stands at the edge and stares at her reflection. "Who are you?" she asks the woman in the water. "Both," comes the answer. "Always both." Footsteps behind her. She doesn't turn. "You shouldn't have followed me." Yunwoo stops a few feet away. He's wearing just a jacket over his sleep shirt. His breath makes clouds. "Where would you go?" "Away. Anywhere." "It matters to me." She laughs, bitter, broken. "Why? You finally have the perfect moment. I'm alone, vulnerable. You could end this, fulfill your vow." "Is that what you want? For me to kill you?" "I want to stop hurting you. I want to disappear so you can heal." "Too late." He moves closer. "You're already written into me. Killing you now would just make me a killer too." She turns to face him. Her eyes are hollow. "Then what do we do? Just pretend I'm not a monster?" "You're not. Don't." She cuts him off. "Don't tell me I'm not. We both know what I am." She reaches into her jacket, pulls out the gun, the one she found hidden in his desk drawer earlier, the one he must have taken from her coat that first night. She holds it between them, then slowly places it in his hand, wraps his fingers around the grip. Then she takes the barrel and presses it against her own chest, right over her heart. "I remember everything," she whispers. "Your mother's face, your father's scream, walking away while your house burned, not caring, not feeling anything." Yunwoo's hand trembles violently. The gun shakes against her chest. "I don't deserve to be saved by you," she continues. Her voice breaks, but she doesn't look away. "So finish it. One shot. End it all. Get your justice." "Lena, do it." She's crying now. "I'm giving you permission. I'm begging you. Because I can't live knowing what I took from you." For a long moment, nothing. The gun stays pressed to her chest. His finger rests on the trigger. His face is anguish, grief and rage and love twisted together. Then he bursts into tears, not quiet tears, but deep, wrenching sobs from somewhere primal. 10 years of grief finally breaking through. He shakes so hard he can barely stand. "I swore to kill you," he gasps between sobs. "Every night for 10 years. I planned it, fantasized about it, and then I found you, helpless, and I had my chance." His voice breaks completely. "But I couldn't, because I saw you look at flowers like they were miracles. Hold my hand when you were scared. Try so hard to be good, even though you didn't remember how." The gun drops from his hand, falls to frozen ground. "I can't," he whispers. "Even knowing everything, even hating what you were, I can't." He picks up the gun, turns and throws it with all his strength. It arcs through the air, hits ice 20 feet from shore. The frozen surface cracks. The gun disappears into dark water with a soft splash. "There," he says, turning back. His face is wet with tears. It's gone. The gun, the vow, the revenge, all of it. Why? Because revenge won't bring them back. His voice is raw but steady. "And killing you won't heal me. It'll just make me the same as the people who took them. Cold, empty, dead inside." He steps toward her, takes her face in his hands. "You're right. You killed my family. You took everything from me. And I should hate you. Part of me does." His thumbs wipe away her tears. But a bigger part came back to life because of you. Because you showed me that people can change. That even someone made into a weapon can choose to be something else. I don't deserve you. No, and I don't deserve to love the person who murdered my parents. But here we are, two broken people who somehow make each other less broken. She collapses against him, sobs into his chest, and he holds her there at the edge of the frozen lake, both crying, both terrified, both choosing this impossible love anyway. This is the moment, the all is lost that becomes maybe we survive, where hatred and love collide and love wins. But the universe isn't done with them. Behind them, in the forest, movement. Footsteps, multiple, professional, quiet. Crimson Lotus has arrived. The first sign is red laser dots appearing on them, one on Yunwoo's back, then another, and another. Lena sees them. Her body reacts before conscious thought. She shoves Yunwoo sideways as gunfire erupts. Sharp cracks of suppressed weapons. They hit the ground, roll behind rocks near the shore. "Stay down," she hisses. Her voice has changed, dropped lower, harder, the assassin surfacing. 6 figures emerge from the tree line like shadows. Black tactical gear. Moving in practiced formation, professional, lethal, everything Lena used to be. Min Jae leads them. Tall, scarred, moving with absolute confidence. He raises one hand. The shooting stops, a gesture of control. Lena Cade. His voice carries across the frozen lake. It's been a while. Lena peers over the rocks. Recognition flickers painfully. She remembers him now, training together, missions together, the closest thing to a friend in that dark world. Min Jae. Her voice is steady despite the fear. "You're far from home. So are you." He steps onto the ice. His team fans out, surrounding them. Madame Yura sends her regards, and her disappointment. You know the rules. No one leaves Crimson Lotus, not alive. "I didn't leave. I was injured. Lost my memory." Convenient story. Min Jae's smile is ice. "Doesn't matter now. You're a liability, and liabilities get eliminated." His eyes flick to Yunwoo, along with any witnesses. Yunwoo shifts. Lena feels his fear, and something ignites in her chest. Not cold calculation, something fiercer, more human, protection, love, the willingness to die before letting them touch him. "He's not part of this," she says. "He's nobody, just someone who found me by accident. Let him go." Min Jae laughs, sharp, humorless. "You know that's not how this works. We don't leave loose ends. He knows your face. That makes him dead already." "Then you'll have to go through me first." "That's the plan." Min Jae signals his team. They advance. Lena looks around frantically. No weapons. No advantage, just rocks and ice and a man she loves who has no training for this violence. Yunwoo touches her arm, meets her eyes. She sees determination there. Resolve. "Together," he whispers. "Whatever happens." She nods. "Together." They break from cover as Min Jae's team opens fire. What happens next is chaos. Lena's body remembers everything. She moves, fast, fluid, deadly. Grabs a rock, throws with surgical precision. It hits one assassin's throat. He goes down. She's already moving. Slides across ice. Comes up behind another. Uses his own gun against him. He drops, but there are 4 more. And she's unarmed. And protecting someone untrained. Yunwoo grabs a fallen weapon, holds it awkwardly, but fires, misses. But the distraction gives Lena half a second. She uses it. They're fighting now. Really fighting. Her with deadly precision. Him with desperate courage. It's messy and terrifying and beautiful. One of Min Jae's team gets too close to Yunwoo. Lena sees it, doesn't think, just moves, puts herself between them. Takes a bullet meant for him, grazes her side. Burning pain, but not fatal. She doesn't slow down, can't. Because if she stops, they both die. The fight shifts onto the ice. The frozen lake creaks. Warning sounds no one heeds. Min Jae circles them patiently. He's better than his team, more experienced, waiting for the opening. "You've changed, Lena," he calls conversationally. "The old you would have eliminated the civilian weeks ago. You've gone soft." Lena doesn't respond. She's breathing hard, bleeding, running on adrenaline and fear. Min Jae moves suddenly, fast, professional. He's on Yunwoo before Lena can react. Gun pressed to Yunwoo's temple, arm locked around his throat. Everything stops. "There it is," Min Jae says softly. "The weakness." He looks at Lena over Yunwoo's shoulder. "Remember what Madame Yura taught us? Love is a liability." Lena stands frozen. Two of Min Jae's team are down permanently. One is injured, but still aiming at her. Min Jae has Yunwoo, one trigger pull from destroying everything. "Drop any weapons," Min Jae orders, "or I paint the ice with his brain." Lena drops the gun she'd taken, raises her hands slowly. "Let him go. This is between you and me. He's innocent." No one's innocent. Min Jae tightens his grip. Yunwoo gasps. "You broke the rules. Now you both pay." "Then do it." Yunwoo's voice cuts through, strangled but defiant. "Kill me, but you're wrong about one thing." Min Jae's eyes narrow. "What's that?" "You think holding me gives you power over her. You're right, but if you want to kill her, you have to kill me first, because I won't let you touch her while I'm breathing." "Yunwoo, don't." Lena's voice breaks. "I mean it," he says. His face is pale, but his voice is steel. "I stood by while my family died, hid like a coward, lived with that shame for 10 years. I'm not hiding anymore. So pull the trigger or let us both go. But you don't get to hurt her, not while I'm alive." Min Jae actually looks surprised. "You'd die for the woman who murdered your parents?" "No." Yunwoo's eyes don't leave Lena's. "I'd die for the woman who showed me that even broken people deserve a second chance. That love is stronger than hate. That mercy is braver than revenge." "How inspirational," Min Jae says, "but not enough." His finger moves toward the trigger. Yunwoo does something unexpected, throws his weight backward, falls, throws Min Jae off balance for just a second. It's enough. Lena moves, faster than thought, covers the distance, hits Min Jae's gun arm hard enough to crack bone. The weapon flies away. Yunwoo rolls clear. Then it's just Lena and Min Jae, two predators who know each other's every move, who trained together, who were almost friends before. The organization taught them friendship was weakness. They collide, fight hand to hand, brutal, efficient, no wasted movement. But Lena has something Min Jae doesn't. Something that makes her faster, stronger, more willing to take risks. She has something to lose, someone to protect, a future worth dying for. The fight ends with her on top of him, her hand around his throat, his face turning red, his eyes wide with realization that she's won. She could kill him. It would be easy. One squeeze and he's gone. But she doesn't. She releases him, steps back, breathing hard. bleeding from multiple wounds. "Go back to Yura," she says quietly. Her voice is steel wrapped in exhaustion. "Tell her Lena Kate is dead. The woman who takes my face now is someone else, someone who's done killing." Min Jae coughs, gasps, stares at her with something almost like respect. She'll never accept that. She'll send others. Then she can come herself. Lena stands over him, not threatening, just final. "But I promise you I'll defend this life. This man, this chance, with everything I have left. And you know what I'm capable of when I have a reason to fight." He looks at her for a long moment, sees something that wasn't there before. Something almost like peace, mixed with absolute conviction. He nods once, carefully gets to his feet, signals his remaining team. They retreat toward the tree line, limping, defeated. "This isn't over, Lena." "Yes," she whispers. "It is." They disappear, the sound of retreat fading, then silence. Lena stands there on the ice, alone, adrenaline draining, leaving only exhaustion and pain and the weight of what she just did. Her hands are shaking, covered in blood. She stares at them like they belong to someone else. She saved him, protected him, chose him over everything the organization taught her. And for the first time in her entire life, she feels something break inside her chest. Not breaking apart, breaking open. Yunwoo is beside her suddenly, checking her wounds, the graze on her side, a cut above her eye, bruises already forming. "We need to leave," she says mechanically. "Get you somewhere safe? They might." "Lena." He takes her face in his hands, forces her to look at him, to really see him. "Stop. Just stop running." "But look at me," he says, firm but infinitely gentle. "Really look." She does, and what she sees in his eyes breaks something else inside her. Not fear, not judgment, just love. "I see blood on your hands," he says. His voice breaks, but he doesn't look away. "I see all of it. The violence you're capable of. The killer you were." He touches her blood-stained fingers. "But I also see love in your eyes. I see the woman who fought to protect instead of destroy, who had the chance to execute everyone and chose mercy, who's trying to be better than what she was made to be." And that's when it happens. Lena bursts into tears, not quiet tears, deep, wrenching sobs from a place she didn't know existed, the kind of crying she's never done. Not when orphaned, not when trained, not when she killed her first target or her 100th. For the first time in her entire life, Lena Cade cries like a human being, like someone who's been holding back an ocean and finally let the dam break. She collapses into Yunwoo's arms, falls against his chest, sobs so hard she can't breathe, can only feel everything she's kept locked away pouring out in waves. He holds her, doesn't try to stop it, just holds her while she breaks and breaks, until maybe she can start putting herself back together into something new. "I've got you," he whispers against her hair. "I've got you. You're safe. We're safe." She clings to him, this man she destroyed and saved, this impossible love, this chance at being human she doesn't deserve, but will fight for every day. They stand there on the frozen lake as dawn begins to break, pink and gold light spilling across ice, warming the world, melting the cold. And for the first time since she can remember, Lena feels something other than emptiness. She feels alive. This is commitment, the final step. Not a promise that everything will be easy, not a guarantee the past won't chase them, just a promise that whatever comes, they'll face it together, as equals, as partners, as two people who chose love when hate would have been easier. 6 months later. The cabin is different now, warmer, more lived in. Curtains in windows, flowers in boxes, 2 pairs of shoes by the door. Lena and Yunwoo have learned to build a life together. It's not perfect. She still has nightmares. He still has moments of grief. But they hold each other through it. They talk. They heal. She stopped killing, completely. Even though the skills remain, she refuses to use them except in protection. Yunwoo has helped her find other purposes. She volunteers at a women's shelter, teaches self-defense, uses her past to help others escape theirs. He's painting again, real painting. Not just trauma, but also beauty, hope. Her face appears in his work now, not as shadow but as light. They're sitting on the porch one evening watching sunset when she says something that changes everything. "I've been thinking." "Dangerous," he teases. She smiles. "About family, about what it means, about whether someone like me could ever—" "Yes." He doesn't let her finish. The answer is yes. "You don't know what I was going to ask. You were going to ask if you could be a mother someday. If someone with your past could create something good, raise someone with love instead of violence." She stares at him. "How did you?" "Because I've been thinking about it too." He takes her hand. "And I think you'd be amazing, because you know exactly what not to do, what not to be, and you'd fight every day to be better, for them, for us." She leans into him. "It won't be soon. We need time, stability, safety." "I know, but someday." "Someday," she agrees. They sit in comfortable silence. The forest hums around them, birds calling, wind rustling, life continuing in all its complicated, messy, beautiful forms. "You know," Yunwoo says after a while, "this whole thing, us, it's kind of motivational when you think about it." She laughs. "Motivational?" "Yeah, like if we can find redemption and healing after everything. If a killer and a victim can become partners, maybe there's hope for anyone." "That's very inspirational of you." "I'm full of wisdom." "You're full of something," he grins, kisses her temple. "I love you, even when you mock my profound insights. I love you too, especially then." The sun sets completely. Stars begin to appear. And in that small cabin in the forest, 2 people who should hate each other hold each other instead. Because love doesn't erase the past. It doesn't make everything okay. It doesn't guarantee happiness, but it does offer something almost as good, the chance to try, to build, to become something new. And sometimes, in a world full of darkness, that chance is enough. This is their romance, born from ashes. A love that chose mercy over justice and found a way to hold both. That's their story, a love born from the impossible. A healing that shouldn't exist, but does anyway. If this story moved you, if you felt the weight of their choices, the hope in their healing, do me a favor. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Because I pour my heart into these stories every single night, and knowing they resonate with you makes every word worth it. Drop a comment and tell me, do you believe people can truly change? Can love redeem even the darkest past? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Until tomorrow night, when we'll meet another pair of hearts finding their way through the dark, take care of yourself. You're worth it.